Hello. You haven't seen us in a long time.
Hi.
Hi. Hope you had a good holidays, good New Year. That's basically it. It's cold here.
Yeah, it's fucking freezing.
So we're on the part of the world where everything's freezing right now.
Yeah, it's currently 18 degrees.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. If you've been here before, Simplicity, TEA, you know. If you're new here, sure you're lovely. Come join the group, which of 2 people, but it's fine. Anyway, so we talk about things on the internet nobody else wants to talk about. I almost forgot the whole tagline. So today we're gonna do, in the next few coming episodes, we're gonna do some lighthearted topics. Some more lighthearted because it was very dark.
Our were not
the
best.
So they're gonna be lighthearted, especially this one today, because
this one's fun.
Yeah, this one's really
fun.
We went to a fucked up high school.
Yeah,
but before,
to say the least.
Before we get into that, grab your mugs, bowls, teacups, whatever you drink liquid out of, and come dive into the tea with us.
Woo! Wait.
So I have mine typed up like always, and she has stories in her head. So I don't know how we want to do this. Do we want to do one person tells a story and like alternating, or do we want to
let's just go back and forth, yeah.
Okay, so who wants to start?
You go first.
Okay.
You have more.
So I had a guy pull the fire alarm right before dismissal my freshman year. He was the same guy who was sexually harassing my friend during gym.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He also did the bomb threat that we had to evacuate the high school for.
Oh my god, wait, who was that?
I don't remember his name.
Who was he?
He was harassing Terry during gym.
Oh my god! I forgot about. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna keep the name in because I don't really care.
Yeah.
So the next one is trash cans got set on fire almost every day, all years throughout high school.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
Do you want to tell your story since you haven't connected to that?
Yeah. So connected to that, somebody set a bathroom on fire. When I forget if I was in the class. I don't think I was, but it was right across from one of my classrooms, one of my engineering classes specifically. This is where a lot of my stories are going to come from, by the way, because those classes were something else. Bo, if you see this, I know you were 22. I'm now 25. I understand you couldn't keep a lot of us under control. Anyway, so we were in, it was the one literally right next to the library. So if that fire got worse, it probably would have been pretty bad. But somebody was smoking in the bathroom. You know,
usual, most people did that.
Does. Yeah. But that was the case for a lot of the trash can fires. But most of the trash can fires were in the cafeteria, so they couldn't exactly close the cafeteria. But I think that was my sophomore year that this happened. So the trash can got set on fire, and every single day after that, that bathroom has had to be locked, and apparently I found out the other day is still permanently locked. So you can only use the bathroom there, that one, and it's also now it's the only clean one, like the only good one. So that was the one I always went to because one of my teachers had the key, so it didn't matter where I was in the building. I would go to that classroom and walk in the classroom and be like, I'm going to pee, and I would take the key and go and then come back. And I was really only one of the ones that was allowed to do that even when I wasn't in the class because they knew I wasn't actually doing something stupid. I was actually just going to pee. Yeah. So, yeah.
I had, Lerman got set on fire one day after school. My friend may have accidentally did it. Never found the person who did it, by the way. That was senior year. Tori came up to me at the end of the day and told me, "Did you hear the news?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Lerman caught on fire." And we saw the fire trucks and everything, and my friend thinks that they accidentally did it.
Yeah.
By falling asleep and dropping a blunt.
For reference, Lerman was like a little like woodsy area that was right next to our school. That's where all the stoners would go and people skipping class and like all out of their shit. They would go there. If they weren't just walking around the school at all hours of the day and nobody ever did anything about it, which I don't know why that was the case, but anyway.
Most of my friends senior year were the Lerman people, so.
Yeah, and they were like if you know where we went to high school and you know that area, you know exactly what kind of people we're talking about. Oh, I just thought of another one. You'll see. It's funny. Go ahead.
Okay. The story about Apricot with one of our assistant principals. They didn't trust him to watch my performance of Grease. So basically, this is my senior year, but he had piano first period with one of the teachers that was helping out with the musical Grease. So people who had those classes with those teachers had to come and watch the performance for their class period. And he walked in, and I happened to be upstairs at the time for some reason. And I ran into Apricot, and I was like, oh, hey, are you going to sit and watch? He's like, well, it's my first period, so I'd kind of like have to. But he was really excited because he wanted to see me in it. And Eiswort comes in at like the exact moment, like knowing that Apricot is there. Well, sorry, well, Eiswort, you were in a scandal yourself. Comes in, realizes that like, oh, he's here. But it was kind of weird now that I think about it, because at my age, in my 20s, I've always wondered, how did he know everybody's schedule? So he walks in and he's like, he grabs Apricot's arm. He's like, you're coming with me. And we're like, whoa. And I'm telling him no, like he's going to sit here. He said he's going to sit here. He said he's going to watch. And he's like, no, I don't trust him. He always skips first period. So he had to sit in that assistant principal's office the entire time. Wasn't allowed to watch.
So this one doesn't exactly take place in high school, but it is high school adjacent. After the fact, after high school, there was a certain group of, I would say men, but like they weren't. But for some reason, I think it was 5 of them, were entrusted to run a weed farm in the lovely state of Hawaii. I don't know if that ever happened.
I don't think so.
But
one of them was in my Towson stats class over Zoom. I don't think it happened.
Yeah. And if it did, it was for a summer. Now one of them lives in Colorado. Another one still lives here, is doing God knows what. Another lives in Ocean City and is a surfer. Don't know what that's about. Yeah, so that's another one.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
The people we went to school with.
We went to school with some gems, guys. It was some real gems.
Yeah. A fight happened right outside my room freshman year, and a girl trying to break up the fight. She was one of the friends she was a friend of one of the people who was fighting the other person. She got hit in the head with a metal trash can by the one fighting her friend. Then dismissal happened right after that. This was my freshman year. I was in Theater 1. It happened right outside my room, and I saw the friend trying to get her friend out of the fight, and the person fighting her friend took the metal trash can and hit the girl in the head. Yeah. She apparently came to school the day after that, and I'm like, trooper. Because if I got hit in the head with a metal trash can, I don't know if I'd be coming back to that school.
Yeah, I wouldn't at all.
Like...
let's see, what else? Oh God, this one's so stupid. Speaking of this engineering class, this was my senior year of high school. And you know senioritis is a thing, right? Obviously, so mmany people have senioritis. Yeah. Like, you get to the point where you're just like, I'm done. So this was kind of around that time. And to give you context on what this class is, it is an advanced engineering class. It's a capstone class. So it's modeled after the final class in college of your degree. So we're a bunch of 17-year-olds in this one classroom trying to invent things, right? You would think that would go how you would think it would go. That's about how it went. So there's a couple stories that happened in this classroom, but one of them involves a dustpan, a roll of masking tape, and a broom. So one of my teacher that was running this capstone class had to go upstairs to the other teacher that was in the advanced engineering program. It was 2 of them at the time. I think now it's 3 or 4. But they worked together, and my teacher had to go upstairs to another room for like 10 minutes or something. And 2 boys decided it would be a great idea to move the desks that have wheels, because we needed a lot of space, so we needed to be able to move furniture around a lot. So we had wheels on a lot of our furniture in that room. So they made a goal, I think you know where this is going. They made a goal out of the 2 rolling desks. Then they also decided to use a dustpan as a hockey stick, goalie stick to be specific. The masking tape, the roll of masking tape, that was the puck, and a broom, a wood broom with the wood on the bottom of it, that was full of wood shavings, by the way, and dust from doing our projects and building things down there all the time. That was the hockey stick. So for a solid, I don't know, 15 minutes this game is going on, and now everybody's recording and yelling at each other, and it's just getting intense, right? So this whole game is going on, and then my teacher walks back downstairs into the classroom and is just goes, "What? I leave you alone for this long, and this is what happens?" And with the guys that were in my class, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's another one. I have another story from that too, but you can go.
Okay, so you guys might know the internet meme video that says, "This bitch empty, yeet." Well, the leftover juice in that video fell on my head, and the can fell in front of me a few more feet my freshman year. That video in that school, that's our high school. Mm-hmm. I know, because I felt a lot of juice fall on my head, and I ended up kicking the can that was on the floor in front of me.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear it as it was being said, because it gets really loud in that hallway that they're walking in, but I was part of a viral meme video. So.
And I think also after that happened, somebody in the hallway started kicking that can around, and eventually that can hit me in the foot on my way to gym class. So
at least you didn't get any juice on your
head. No, I didn't get any juice on my head. But those juices, though, they were good.
I never tried them.
I liked the orange ones. They were good.
No, I never tried them.
They were really good. I liked them a lot. I don't know what brand they were. I have absolutely no idea. But they were the clear cans, and it kind of looked like a tennis ball can.
Yeah, but now you guys can go watch This Bitch Empty Yeet, and you know people it affected. So there you go.
That was in our high school.
There you go.
Let's see. What's another one that I have? Oh, okay. This was my senior prom. I'm saving the best one for last, because my best one is just nuts. So this was also in the engineering class, but my teacher, this was before winter break, so we were obviously, nobody is doing anything. Duh. So for some reason, my teacher looks up something about rubber ducks and falls down a rabbit hole, and finds this book on Amazon called Slow Death by Rubber Duck. I'm not kidding. It was called Slow Death by Rubber Duck. And out loud, he goes, "Do you guys want to hear about slow death by rubber duck? How rubber ducks can kill you?" And I was like, naturally, everyone in the class was like, yes. So we are all standing around one of the movable desks, all with different things. Somebody has a stuffed animal for some reason. One person has a blanket. Me and one of my friends are eating soft pretzels. I don't know where we got them from. I have absolutely no idea. Another person is eating Litos for some reason. Again, I have absolutely no idea. So that's the scene. And it's also me and one of my friends. We are the only girls in this classroom, okay? Don't recommend. But we stuck through it. We got through it together, and it was great. It was a great time. But anyway, so we are all sitting around this classroom, around this table in the middle of the classroom. Same one that was used as part of the hockey goal in the hockey story. Yeah. So we're sitting around, and we get read this whole article about how rubber ducks can kill you. Meaning, if you leave them in the bath for too long and they have a hole in the bottom and you don't clean them out and don't dry them properly, they can get moldy, and mold is not good for you. So, if you have a rubber duck, take some hot glue and plug that hole in the bottom. I know it makes them squeak, but just do it. If you're going to use them in water, do it because it's safer. Anyway, so we're reading this book, and instantly me and my friend, my girlfriend, not girlfriend, but female friend, we are sitting and we're listening to this, and we just give each other this look. Like, this is turning into something. So we decide at the end of the year that we are going to buy as many rubber ducks as we possibly can after we graduate, after we finish, not graduate, but after we finish school, because we finished school senior year 2 weeks before everyone else. So we were like, we're gonna go to school the day before regular, and we're gonna plan. We planned it with the other teacher, the other one that was part of the engineering department that I was in, and the engineering program I was in. He kept our teacher busy and was like, okay, we're gonna keep him busy for like 20, 30 minutes, something like that, however long we needed. So we sneak back into the school, meaning one of our friends that was the grade below us let us into the cafeteria inside. So we come inside the cafeteria doors. We set up these 50 little rubber ducks. They were probably about that big. And then we got a big one. I think we named it Gerald. I don't remember. But we got a big one, and it had a bow tie on, and it was really cute. We put that at his desk, and then we hid. Turned all the lights off. Then my teacher starts coming down, and we knew my teacher was coming down the steps because he always had the jump ring with, or not a jump ring. What are those things called? Carabiner. Oh. He always had his keys on a carabiner and was loud as shit coming down the hallway or coming down the steps. So we knew he was coming. We turned all the lights off and we hide. We jump up and yell surprise when they open up the door because we kept the door locked this entire time because he kept his classroom locked because people are stupid at my school and they would try to come steal the engineering shit. And we had like 3D printers, all that stuff. So we had to keep his classroom locked. So we had the classroom locked and everything. We're hiding. We jump up and say surprise. And at first, for the first like 45 seconds, he's like, hi, I just saw you guys yesterday. You just finished school. What are you doing? And we're like, look, are you not looking around? And then he found 50 rubber ducks and the one big rubber duck. And I say all of that to say that, hold on, how many years has it been since we graduated? 7. 7 years later, the duck collection has grown exponentially. I'm not kidding. And he has ducks of all ranges, all shapes, all sizes, all colors, any theme, any of it. He has a whole entire shelf with 5 shelves painted into a rainbow that he made, and that whole shelf is rubber ducks. So we have started a legacy, and it has been 7 years in the making, and it is my absolute pride and joy. And I love it so much.
So these are what a lot of the next stories are going to be, but in a guitar class,
oh god,
my group of guy friends blew out an electric socket in the room, so it didn't work for the rest of the year. I'm going to call them SpongeBob characters, but Patrick yelled, "You almost blinded me," or something like that. They stuck a paper clip in the light socket because Patrick wanted to see if it would make electricity. Yeah, the teacher never knew they did that. It happened during class and the teacher just never knew they did that. But I saw, and it was Patrick's birthday. That was my junior year. They were like, "Oh no, it's not gonna create electricity." You're like, "No, you're not gonna get stunned if you put a paper clip in the..." So he put the paper clip in the thing. Electricity, I kid you not, blew out of the socket, almost hit Patrick in the eyes, almost blinded him. And then he was like, "You almost..." And I'm like sitting here like, what the fuck drugs are you on?
For him, it could be a couple.
Yeah, there's another one from guitar. I might as well just say the guitar ones. My toxic friend from the first video we ever did, she did my makeup at lunch one day. And my other friend, who I'll call SpongeBob, started joking after I said that my friend had said the makeup was edgy. So I was joking, saying that she said it was edgy. And he said, "Oh, you're so edgy. Be careful. Don't fall off the edge." And yeah.
I just realized who that is.
Yeah. Oh, here's a little bit of a sadder one, but not really. I was having a panic attack outside of the guitar room. So SpongeBob came up and helped me breathe and calm down. I think that kind of goes with the next story. After Cars did what he did to me and kept harassing me, that's a video on my personal channel. I'll link it down below.
Yes.
It was one of my relationships. SpongeBob came and sat next to me. Patrick was behind me because his seat was already there. And Gary was on the other side of the room. They all came to sit with me and got the guy who harassed me to go away. Except Patrick, this reminds me, Patrick had a little bit of a problem understanding why I was upset that this had happened. SpongeBob sits in front of me, right? So let me set up the room. It's like a room where they're kind of like...
It's stairs.
Yes. So
kind of.
SpongeBob is here, I'm here, Patrick is back there. He's a dumbass. Patrick goes... Why are you mad that you tried to unzip your pants in public? That's what boyfriends are allowed to do. You're his girlfriend. And then SpongeBob's like, shut the fuck up, Patrick. And it's yeah.
I have one about SpongeBob.
Yeah, there's no more about guitar, so go ahead.
This is with the same guy, SpongeBob. We are good friends with him. Shout out to you, my guy. I don't know what you're doing these days, but we have a very complex history, and I still just salute. Anyway, maybe we'll make that a video. If you want to know about my complex life with SpongeBob, then maybe I'll tell it.
Yeah, if you also want me to read from my senior year journal things that happened, let me know.
Yeah. So we sat next to each other in our French class for 2 years straight. Enough so that by the time I was getting ready to graduate, because he was a year younger than me, everybody thought we were, everybody thought we were, together, but we never were. But anyway, so my teacher, shout out, I'm trying to give her a name. Madam Sandy, that's what I'll call her. Shout out Madam Sandy. She knew that this boy would not behave or do anything or just remotely give a shit about the class in any way, shape, or form, unless I was there to be a good influence. So she sat me next to him for 2 years straight. Never moved. Always the same spot. Always scheduled the same way. It just always was.
Why did she do that with you and my theater teacher do that with me?
I don't know, but it's the common theme. So yeah, he just wouldn't do anything unless I was there. So one day, he decides it's a great idea to, while we are talking about, I think we were talking about conjugations or something, or something like that, he decides it is a great idea to get out his Nintendo 3DS. Why, I couldn't tell you. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to pay attention, and homie is playing Mario Kart on his 3DS with the volume on. I wish I was kidding. And so Madam Sandy comes over to me and she goes, what is he doing? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have to, I can't today with him. I don't know. And she gets up to SpongeBob and she goes, she uses his name, obviously, not SpongeBob. And she goes, SpongeBob, just really? And he was having a really bad day and things were kind of going rough for him at that point. And she talked to him about that and everything before the class. So eventually she just kind of let it go, because it really wasn't that big of a deal, because what we were doing really wasn't that important. Yeah, no. And she knew that as long as he was in class, that was better than where he would be if he wasn't in class. So she just kind of took the L and left it there. But I sat there for a minute and I was like, I know you're playing Mario Kart and I know you're not having the best day, but does your volume have to be on?
Yeah.
And we got on, yeah. And then we kind of got into a little bit of an argument about it. And he was like, I can't focus if the volume's not on. And I was like, well, I can't focus on what I have to be doing to get both of us through this class now, can I? And then, yeah. And then he eventually knew I was right, because he was like, I'm not going to pass this class unless I was around and the one paying attention to get us through this class. So that was the end of that.
So we're going to go to Valentine's Day junior year. I had an English class with a guy who had the same last name as me, but we're not related. And this other guy. They were throwing condoms at us in English class. The teacher never assigned any work in that class at all. We were all throwing them at each other. So when they threw it to us, we'd throw it back at them. And they were yelling, "Be safe," and other stupid boy stuff. Because I think my toxic friend from the first video, she had a boyfriend. I didn't have one, but I liked somebody, and then my other friend didn't have one, so.
They're so mature.
But that one that had the same last name as me, he had always been, like, targeting me over the years for stupid boy stuff, so. Yeah.
I only have one more, by the way.
Freshman year, I'll just say this, because I saw this. Freshman year, please don't be concerned when I say this. Friends tried to throw me over the wall at lunch outside. Every day. Please don't be concerned.
It wasn't a tall wall. It was more just like a barrier.
Yeah, it's a concrete wall, but there's like a grassy hill below it. But still, the place they were trying to throw me off of was the highest part.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little concerning. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, go ahead with your last story.
My last story also takes place in this engineering class, but with the class that I was taking for actually, how long is your last one? Is your last one long?
I only have a
couple more.
Like 3 more.
Okay. So do you want to do yours first? Because mine's kind of long.
A guy I was friends with didn't think I had the balls, or I guess ovaries, because I'm a girl, to go and talk to a guy I liked. I went right up to the guy and talked to him by telling me he looked like one of my favorite YouTubers. The guy who said I wouldn't go up and talk to him had his mouth opened and jaw practically on the ground.
Yeah.
That was freshman year. This is funny. And I think we've all been in this situation. I took a quiz during creative writing on one of the days when we're in the computer lab to type up our work. The quiz said my crush liked me back. My friend and I had to close the tab quick because my crush was coming back and sitting next to me. This is senior year. So for context, my friend and I were taking a quiz to see if my crush liked me back. He did, but we didn't know. This is also the very first time he put me as 1111 crush on his Snapchat story, and the entire school saw it. I didn't know he knew that many people. But back to what I was saying. He's in a wheelchair, so he's coming back to the class, and he's coming back quickly because he's on wheels. We see him come in, and we're pressing all the buttons, trying to close the tab. And he saw the whole thing and didn't understand why we were like panicking. So that's funny. Okay, and the last one I have is my first friend freshman year was a guy I would meet and talk to on the sidewalk. So he called me Sidewalk Girl. That was my first nickname in high school, and I miss that guy. I hope he's doing well. So that's my last story. Okay,
actually, I have 2 more. Please, for the love of God. These are so fucking ridiculous. So this is it. Sorry to kind of be a little confusing for a second there, but these are my last 2 stories. They take place in the same class, again, with the engineering boys, because they were nothing but unhinged all the time. So this one, I don't know if you know this story, but this class that we had to take, it was for our engineering class, or for our engineering, program, that's it. So it was aerospace engineering, which if you don't know, aerospace is like airplanes, rockets, aerodynamics,
That's what my cousin got his degree in.
Exactly.
I'll cut out that name.
Yeah, thank you. So this is in that class, right? Class is going great. Love it. It's a really great time. So we're getting to the end of the class, and the last 2 projects that we have is we have to build a model airplane, which is what we're doing. So we're building a model airplane, we're using wood and like just kind of doing a lot of math and a lot of like aerodynamic things. It's a lot of stuff that I still to this day cannot understand or cannot explain to you because I don't know it well enough at this point. It's been 7 years. But we decide that we are going, well, not we decide, but part of this program, after we build our model airplanes and everything, we are going to take them to throw, and we go out to the football field, take them to throw them, and just kind of test and do everything like that to be a part of this project. The final part of the project is to throw it and reevaluate what you did, right? Makes sense for an aerospace class, right? So we go and it's so much fun and we do this thing and blah, 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 blah. We're getting ready to walk back to class. And I'll tell you who said this because it makes it that much more funny. But we'll probably have to cut it out who says it. But they say to our teacher, if we stand at the top of this hill with our airplanes and we hit you, can we all get A's? And for some unbeknownst reason to me, my teacher says yes. Why that was a good idea, I have absolutely no clue. But if you picture this, let me paint the scene for you. We are acting like a bunch of drunk toddlers running around screaming because we're trying to hit our teacher. So the way that this is set up, my teacher is standing on the track next to the football field. And there's a big hill that is between the football field and the bleachers. All of my class is standing on the edge of the bleachers trying to throw their airplanes to hit my teacher, right? You would think that it is like the best day of life ever because boys at that age, if you give them the power to throw things, oh my God. So they're going and everybody's throwing and we get down to the last two people. My teacher is standing here. I'm not kidding you. It goes, if we're like kind of all the way like where the top of the chair is for distance and our teacher is here, it's coming down and it just goes right around him. And we knew we had one shot left for this. He stands up. Everybody is doing drum rolls. Everybody is screaming like banshees, right? It's like a scene out of a movie. I wish I was kidding. He stands there, adjusts his plane, and he goes, guys, as if we're in like Gladiator in a war movie. It is an airplane made of wood that has clay on it, like Play-Doh, literal Play-Doh on it. Oh my God, the dramatics, people. So he stands there directly in the middle of the bleachers and he goes, this is our last shot, my friends. I will do everything it takes. He throws the airplane. It gets to almost to the ground, hits my teacher in the foot. My class erupted like fucking like who I don't even know who they would be that excited about. If like any stereotype, like they got so excited like as if Megan Fox walked into the room. Like Megan Fox from Transformers, they were yelling that much. I'm not kidding, the funniest day I've ever lived through in high school, ever. Like probably one of the top stories of all time. Everyone was screaming, there was running around, and it's a really good thing that the football field is not very close to the classrooms because we would have been causing such a disturbance.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then in this same class, this is probably like 2 months later, this is our last project that we have to do before we graduate. We have to build model rockets, okay?
Oh God.
And not just like model rockets like out of paper and stuff like we did in a physics class one time, but they were legit model rockets with tubes and launchers that you lit on fire.
I did that in elementary school.
Yeah. With like launchers that we did on fire, we had to 3D print and design all of our own elements. It was a very involved project, right? So we're doing this whole thing. And somebody decides that while we're in third period, so this isn't my class, this is the class before mine. Somebody decides that so the fuselage is a part of an airplane, right? The fuselage, if you're in an airplane, is the part where the passengers sit. That is the fuselage. I'm like 90% sure, don't hold me on that.
Try to say that word 5 times fast.
Fuselage. Yeah, I just pulled that from the back of my head. I haven't said that word in 7 years. But there's also the part that ignites that, like lifts the engine and stuff like that, right? But in order to model that, we had to use like these little, probably this big pieces of cork that had enough firepower to launch them into the air for testing. So everybody's putting them together, like they're, the last minute thing that they have to do is, put the put the little igniter, whatever you want to call it, into the fuselage so that it is able to go up and you can test the distance and how far it goes and evaluate yourself later, right? All of these things make sense. So this is a two-part story. Part one is one of my really good friends. She launched we had a test day, right? This is before the next story that I'm going to tell, but the next story is the best one. So I'm going to say this one first. But we go and we have test day, and we go out to the same, like, kind of area by my school. My friend launches her rocket, and it goes so far that it goes into the same woods that the fire started, that somebody lit on fire with a dropped blunt that they fell asleep. So that connects our two stories, because, you know, and it's also the same, like, kind of time period in the year of when that happened versus what we're doing. Yeah. We looked for that thing for, like, I don't know, weeks after, like, because that was the path that I took to get into school. So I looked for it and looked for it and looked for it. Nobody ever found it. She aced the project. I think now she is a literal engineer, which is awesome. But anyway, shout out to her if you're watching this. Hey. But the last story with this takes place a little bit before launch day. I think it's probably the week before, or a couple days before even. The little thing that goes into the fuselage to launch it, they have to be lit on fire. And one of my friends, I will put that word friends lightly, decided it would be a great idea in third period to light it, and thinking it wouldn't go anywhere, but it went somewhere. It launched from the floor through a hole in the ceiling. And the fire alarms went off. Do you remember that day when we had to evacuate?
What
and
year?
It was a fire drill. It was our senior year.
We had to evacuate.
It was a fire drill, and it was like almost the end of the day.
No. I don't know what class I would have even been in.
I think you would have been... What was your third period in senior year?
Which one, A days or B days? Because it was different.
I think A days.
And was it near the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay, I would have been in theater, but I don't remember this.
What was your B days?
My B days was psychology at the end of the year.
It might have been a B day. But it was...
Actually, yeah, you're right. It might have been a B day, but I also barely remember it because that class I was dealing with apricots, dumbass.
Yeah. So that day, the entire school had to evacuate because they thought it was a fire. The entire time, it was a piece of a rocket that was launched, put a hole in the ceiling, damaged some internal parts of the ceiling, along with the ceiling tile. That ceiling tile had to come down. Repairs had to be made. I'm pretty sure a light was broken. And the person that lit it on fire, we're gonna have to bleep this. The person, just take a swing. Just take a swing.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you do.
Do I know them well?
You've been in school with them for a long time, but you don't know them well, I don't think.
Oh my god! He's not even a friend! God!
Yeah, and you wanna know why he did it?
Why?
He was high!
Oh my god!
And
I hate people!
And he decided, what's gonna happen if I light this on fire if it's not attached to a rocket?
Dumbass.
It damaged the ceiling and he had to pay for it. And got suspended for a couple days.
Okay,
So, that was that.
exciting.
Yeah.
So, one more thing I forgot to tell you about my first story. You know, the guy that pulled the fire alarm right before dismissal and set a bomb threat the same day. That's why the fire alarm was pulled our freshman year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that story got on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put down the news clip of that down below too if you want to see that. Because I don't care if I give out the name of our high school, we don't go there anymore.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, so we have, you know, a lot of topics, I've been saying. This is kind of housekeeping.
Yes.
We have a lot of topics, as I've been saying. One topic, we have it planned for the next two, so it won't be one of the next two. But one of the topics we have is, it'll be very interesting. it is about my experience with two celebrities, one that is currently still going on, one that just happened that night. If you want to hear a story about my experience with celebrities, like an ongoing situation that a lot of people are experiencing, please let us know.
Yeah, please.
Because I am ready to make that video whenever anybody tells me it's time. I am even ready to name the person if I wanted to, because he is being reamed all over the internet right now for the same stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to give you. I need to keep it a surprise until, but if you want us to speed through, even if we decide to speed through to that video, we will.
Yeah.
I might wait until after we see them this upcoming June to see if anything still happens.
Yeah. And that's the final time we're going to see them,
yes,
by the way.
Exactly. So anyway, if you want to see that, just let us know. We'll keep it in mind because we have a long list of things to get through. But we're going to do some lighthearted before we get back to that so that you guys have some lighthearted to watch in case you don't want to watch the heavier ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching. And we'll see.
If you have any funny stories from high school, when you were in high school, let us know.
We can make a series on that.
Yeah.
Also, let us know in those if we can say your name, and if we can say names involved.
We'll react to some stories.
Yes. Anyway, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.